Hello all, this is your Bhavani sir. Why UPSC preliminary examination, especially based on previous year question themes, are essential for your preparation 2023. I will tell you what are the basic things that are very essential and standard books, and also the previous year questions, and also the reverse engineering model in this module, right. Here the question is about the Bengal translation, that is Rabindranath Tagore from Bengali to English in February at Madanapalli in Chittoor district. This is actually an NCERT question, right. This is even before starting this NCERT question, even before starting the chapter of this NCERT in 6th class, the social and political life 1, there is a national anthem which is translated, right. This translation of national anthem from Bengali to English is given in a small note. Here a small note is given, right. This small note is asked, in this UPSC 2021 paper, in this UPSC 2021 set A 36th question, Therefore, it is very important, essential to read the standard reference books, and exactly in the same year, immediately after 36th question, if you see this 37th question, you can witness the YODHAN, which is a place for pit houses located in the present day Kashmir. It was a place for pit houses in the ancient times, but it was wrongly matched here. This is in the 18th page of our past one. Just imagine, in the same year, in the year 2021, you have witnessed a question from your polity book, that is social and political life 1, that 36th question, and immediately after that, in the 37th question, you are seeing the question from our past 1, that is history. 36th question is from polity NCERT 6th class, 37th question is from history NCERT 6th class. This is really amazing, right. I would like to show you few more such questions based on previous year question themes. This is 2022 recent previous year question which is asked in the last year itself. See, the question is completely taken from our NCERT. This is also, this picture can be depicted in our 6th class NCERT, our past 1, and also themes in Indian history part 1. See the options here. Here I have highlighted with the yellow mark, though it is not visible. I will read it again. I will read it louder. Here it is Kalsi. Are you seeing? This is Kalsi, and also this is Kalsi. This is located in the region. This is located in the northern part, especially near Delhi. Kalsi. And second option, look at this. This is Jaughada, and again look at this yellow mark highlighted one. This is Jaughada, which is located in the Kalinga part, northern part of Kalinga. And again, this is Dhauli, and Dhauli, it is also located in the Kalinga region. That is old Odisha. The old name was the Odisha's old name was Kalinga, right? In that place, in that region. And again, these are the previous year questions which are asked, and several times these were reflected in our standard reference books, that is NCERT 6th class, and also themes in Indian history part 1. This is 6th class NCERT map, which I am depicting you. This is Jaughada, this is Kalsi, and this is Erragudi, and these are Dhauli. These are asked. This is 6th class NCERT, our past 1, which is asked in UPSC 2022. Just by reading 6th class NCERT, social and political life 1, and also our past 1, you can get 6 marks. You can get only 6 marks just reading 6th class NCERT. That means you can crack this IAS exam only by reading 6th class NCERT. Is it a really amazing thing, right? And I would like to show you a small pictographic representation of importance of these NCERT books. Standard books are very important. These are available for you, but you are not looking at them. I would like to show you 2022. These are 2022 questions. I am again and again showing you and repeating you several times. You can get 40 marks. You can get 40 marks only by reading just 2 years of previous year questions which were asked in UPSC. Just 2 years of previous year questions which were asked in UPSC. If you analyze them in 360 degrees, you will be able to get 40 marks in 2022 preliminary examination. How will you able to get this? It is really astonishing one. This is 2020 UPSC preliminary exam question. Just I am showing you again and again. This is Central Groundwater Authority was formed under the Environmental Protection Act. This is I have highlighted with the yellow mark. This is Central Groundwater Authority. This is second statement. It is part of the question. This is 2020 question, right? Just I am drawing a line here I am drawing a line here for your convenience. Which one of the following has been constituted under 1986 Environmental Protection Act? 1986 Environmental Protection Act. This is actually a question which is asked in the statement here. This is Central Groundwater Authority. Central Groundwater Authority. This is a question statement. Here it is an answer statement. I am showing you, I am highlighting with yellow mark. Look at this. This yellow mark is the answer of the question in 2020. This is 2020 question. This is the answer, right? I would like to show you few more such examples. See, it is really impossible for an aspirant to know millions of birds which are available on this earth. Is it possible to find which is a bird, not a bird? It is very, very difficult, but by using this elimination technique based on the previous year questions, you can comfortably, you can easily eliminate these other options. See, here it is showing if you have done 360 degrees analysis of each of the options, this mashir comes to fisheries community, comes under fisheries community. This mashir I have highlighted with yellow mark. See this one, mashir. So, if you have chosen this mashir as a fisheries community, this is the only mashir which is available in the option A in the 2022 question. In the 2022, the only option which is available with the name mashir is only the A, golden mashir. Therefore, it is not a bird. This is not a bird. By using this small elimination technique, by doing this reverse engineering in 360 degrees, you can comfortably eliminate this option, eliminate other three, or you can choose this option A. This is one more such beautiful example of 2022 previous year question. I have already shown using the standard reference books, you can get easily 6 marks, and also the previous year questions analyzing them 2020 and 2019. I am showing you again and again more number of questions like this. Just be attentive yourself. You have to be very, very attentive here. See, this is Banks Board Bureau. This is asked in the UPSC in the previous year. In which year? 2019. I am only showing the 2022 preliminary examination questions which were asked recently, and key is not released yet. Key paper is not released yet. Okay, but I am actually leaking the paper simply, I am predicting the paper simply by showing all the previous year questions, and the question itself is containing the answer for the next upcoming exam. See, here it is 2019 question. Just imagine this is 2019 question. Banks Board Bureau recommends for the selection of heads for the public sector bank. This is question, this is not the answer, this is a statement given in the 2019 question. Here, the chairman of public sector banks are selected by Banks Board Bureau. I have highlighted with the yellow mark. This is the Banks Board Bureau recommends for the selection of the heads of the public sector banks, Here also, the public sector banks, the chairman of public sector banks are selected by Banks Board Bureau. This is the statement, this is part of the question here, this is question, and this is the answer. This is answer here. So, based on the previous year questions in the 2019 and 20, you are able to answer this question without reading any textbook also sometimes. Just even not doing any kind of research. If you are thorough with these questions, you can able to answer this. Just imagine one more question. I am showing you all with lot of facts and evidences the importance of previous year questions with lot of analysis, in-depth analysis, and very insightful things, right. Here particular area is brought under 5th schedule. Particular area is brought under 5th schedule of the Constitution. 5th schedule of the Constitution. This is only a question. This is part of the question. If particular area is brought under 5th schedule of the Constitution of India, which one of the following statement best reflects the consequence of it? Here, it would prevent the transfer of tribal land to the non-tribal people. It will prevent, if a particular land is coming under 5th schedule, you cannot transfer this tribal land to non-tribal people. This is actually a provision under the 5th schedule of the Constitution. So, this is a question, this is the answer, right. This is answer, this is question. This 73rd one is the question here. Here, this question is actually giving you the answer for this one. This question is giving answer for this question. Under 5th schedule of the Constitution of India, can the transfer of India, can the tribal land to private parties for mining be declared null and void? Under which of the following schedule? Under which of the following schedule the tribal land, transfer of tribal land to non-tribal people, that is private parties, is declared to be null and void, especially the mining declared area. This is under 5th schedule. This is under 5th schedule. This is a question under 5th schedule. highlighted here, 5th schedule. This is an answer, right, 5th schedule. This is a question and this is the answer, like Banks Board Bureau, which I have said just before. And here it is, you say you feel that that is why I have been repeating several times. I have been repeating you several times. It was asked in 2019 and 20, and Banks Board Bureau was asked in the question, and again it was reflected in 2022 previous year question, and again 2019 question which was asked and also reflected in this area. And I will post this answer in our Telegram channel. I will post this PPT in our Telegram channel if it is not visible to you. Do not worry at all. Just I will be reading louder and louder. Here Ramanujacharya gave stress on devotion, that is bhakti, and the same thing is asked by using lengthier statements here. Here Ramanujacharya gave stress on bhakti, that is devotion. This was a 1982 question, and in 2022 after 40 years the same theme is repeated here. Intense devotion, that means best means of salvation is intense devotion to the God, towards God. This is a question which was asked in 1982 and reflected again in 2022 preliminary examination. And I will highlight one more time, one more question I will give you. This is very interesting question. This is a 2016 NDA question. I am reading with a louder voice. You can please attend this session very attentively. See, this is a bicephanol A, which is an endocrine disruptor. Bicephanol A, an endocrine disruptor and bad for human health. This was asked in NDA, National Defence Academy, in 2016. Bicephanol A, an endocrine disruptor which is not good for human health. It is asked in UPSC examination under National Defence Academy. National Defence Academy was also an exam conducted by the UPSC. In 2016 they asked this question. See, the same bicephanol A, see, the bicephanol A was asked in UPSC in 2021. Same bicephanol A. So, bicephanol A, a cause of concern and is a structural key component in the manufacture of which of the following kinds of plastic, that is a polycarbonate. This is bicephanol A. If you have read about bicephanol A by doing this PYQ analysis of all the exams conducted by the UPSC, you can answer this question, that is 2021, that is bicephanol A. Okay. If the bicephanol A, same question 2021 previous year question is reflected in the recent preliminary examination. That is, see this one, polyethylene terephthalate. Polyethylene terephthalate is option C given in 2021. Option C given in 2021 examination, that is polyethylene terephthalate. Actually the question was about bicephanol A. It was a polycarbonate and not good for human health, and also it was an endocrine disruptor. It was asked in NDA and reflected in 2021 preliminary examination. This is option C, that is polyethylene terephthalate, and again it is asked polyethylene terephthalate is 2022 as a question. Okay, it is asked as a question in the recent year, polyethylene. So, what have you understood now? What is your insights and also what is your inference that can be drawn from the previous year questions and also the NCERT standard reference books? If you have read all the NCERT standard reference books, and also if you do 360 degrees reverse engineering of all the 40 years of UPSC previous year questions, at least if you are thorough with recent previous year questions, that is 2016, 17, 18 times, you will be able to answer at least 20 to 25 questions. At least 20 to 25 questions can be answered by you very easily. It is very easy for you. Just I have shown you the testimony, and also I am showing you one more testimony here. See here 2022 question, and it was taken from UPSC IAS exam in 2014. Regarding pairs that were asked, the location of the boards, coffee board, Bangalore, tea board, Guwahati, and tobacco board, Hyderabad. Here they are asking the location of the boards, coffee board, tea board, and tobacco board. Actually here tea board's office is situated in Bangalore, like this is the statement tea board in India, consider the following statements. So, in the UPSC when it is asked in 2014, again it is reflected in 2022. In several exams, if you are thorough with this is 1 and 3, tea board is located in Bangalore and the board is a statutory body. This is the answer in 2022 recent previous year question, that is UPSC. So, guess to gain. if you are able to guess and predict the examination based on the PYQ themes, and the soul of the exam is only the previous year questions and the exact syllabus and standard reference books. If you have if you catch this previous year question theme and analytically, if you are in the right path and understanding the content correct properly, you will be able to crack this exam with 120 plus scores. How will you attain 120 plus scores? It is very easy, but consistent, analytical, smart PYQ analysis is very much required. Every day that answer writing, every day that answer, the question and the synopsis which you practice should be having this PYQ analysis. I would like to display the PDF content here, which is asked in today's exam. The exam here, each question contains at least 3 to 4 multiple choice questions based on PYQ themes. Each question covers 3 to 4 previous year questions. Therefore, you will be able to answer all the questions which are based on previous year questions, not only the previous year questions from but also from standard reference books. I am also providing you the source of the standard reference book with the pictographic representation, the original source. You no need to go for the original source again. You can see the original source in the pictographic form, and also read the highlighted text in the yellow mark and read the text several times, and also the text which is not highlighted must be read by you, and also previous year questions which are given here must be read by you. This is a previous year question 1. Should we reopen it again? I would like to give you the explanation of today's content. 20 MCQs that we have asked, 20 MCQs are based on previous year questions. Here this is the question paper, right. Sarkaria, regarding Sarkaria Commission, Sarkaria Commission has been set up to study the interstate relation, no, center state relations. This is asked in 1986 and this is repeated twice. This is repeated twice, the same question is repeated twice, and also it is asked in 1986. Therefore, I have chosen it as a statement in this question, and not only by choosing this question, I am giving you the source here, source of information here, that is taking the right content from the source like this, right. Here the pictographic information which is asked here like this. Okay. Certain questions may not be required the standards reference book source, because it is self explanatory in nature. So, if you compare first statement, if you understand the first statement, it is very easy that you can eliminate this interstate relation, and also center state financial relations are looked after by Niti Aayog. This is also a wrong statement. Center state financial relations are looked after by Finance Commission. This is a previous year question of UPSC. This is a previous year question of UPSC. Next, so second statement is also wrong, and most irritating factor in the center state relations is the interference of the center in the functions allotted to them by the Constitution. This is also asked in UPSC 1985. The most irritating factor in the center state relations is interference of the center in the affairs of the state, especially in the administrative affairs. This is asked compared to river water disputes and allocation of finances. Actually, most irritating factor for the center is interstate disputes with respect to river water disputes. So, it is not an irritating factor to the states from the center. So, you can eliminate that option A. But option B is an interference of the center in the affairs of the state administration. It is an irritating factor with respect to federalism, the feature of federalism. So, you can take this option, you can take, I have given this option, this is this answer as one of the statements, which is only one statement is true. Okay. And similarly, in 2014, in 2020, Central Armed Police Force, in the question in the Central Armed Police Force, a direct question is asked here in relations to the powers of Union Government of India, which is not correct here. The statements are asking about which is not correct, that means 3 statements are correct. Therefore, this is enriching your content. You not only recognize the statement which is wrong, you will remember all the 3 correct statements here. Here, Government of India may undertake legislative functions of a territory outside of India by agreement with the government of the territory. Yes, if any land does not belong to the Government of India, can also make legislation with the consent from the territory which is belong to other state. Okay. For example, Bangladesh wants a law to be passed by the Government of India on its own territory. Therefore, Government of India can pass a legislation, there is no problem here. But this is a logical question, you can comfortably make it right. Next, but Union Government of India may not entrust state government, a state government with the functions over matters where executive power of the union extends. This is absolutely wrong, because central government may entrust a state government to have to make a legislation on the affairs of the center, or also certain things where the center can permit, where the parliament can permit, where certain laws can be made by the state with the consent of the center union government. Therefore, may not entrust is definitely wrong, may not entrust is wrong. The union government may entrust a state government with the functions over matters which the executive power of the union extends. Executive power of the union may have certain jurisdictions to make laws in the particular state. Therefore, it may entrust the state to make laws in the affairs of the union, okay, the administrative affairs of the union. And the same way, this is the other two statements are correct. That means, union government may direct states for construction and maintenance and means of communication of military and everything. And also governor may, with the consent of government of India, entrust, governor with the consent of the government of India may entrust its officers with the functions and matters which fall within the executive power of the state. That means, the power which lied in the executive power of the state may be entrusted, the functions may be entrusted with entrusted to the government of India with the consent of it, okay, consent of the government of India, entrust its powers with functions on matters which fall within the executive power of the state, within the executive power of the state. This just it is a quite a little opposite statement to this B. Simple. So, it is easy with the context with it is easy to understand the questions based on your previous year question analysis and also your logical thinking and your ability to build coherence and interlinking with the given statements. So, again comes to this third question regarding role of the finance commission. There are plenty of questions based on the role of the previous year questions. Actually, we have set this question on this 1982, 2003 and also certain questions which were asked. I have not added, I will add it in the grand test. Just come to this part. Finance commission, actually the recommendations made by the finance commission are only of recommendatory in nature, advisory in nature, and they should not bind upon the central government. The central government may no need to follow the guidelines or advice given by the finance commission. Therefore, it is true statement. This is true statement, and it is up to the union government to implement its recommendation on granting money to the states. And also, it is nowhere laid down in the constitution that the recommendations of the commission shall be binding. It is not at all written in the constitution. It is not at all written in the constitution that the recommendation of the finance commission must be followed by the central government. That kind of notion is not at all mentioned, and it is not given in the constitution. And also, a legal right in favor of the beneficiary states to receive the money recommended by the finance commission to be offered to them by the commission. Actually, this is statement 1 and 2. This is statement 1 and 2 is the only right, because legal right in favor of the beneficiary states is not provided. Because a state cannot go to the court to seek more money from the central government based on the recommendations given by the finance commission. So, state government can only politically or through financial administration or by pressurizing the center can avail certain rights, monetary rights which are recommended by the finance commission. So, they do not have any right to approach the court if any recommendation of the finance commission is not followed by the central government. Very simple. Therefore, this is actually the original source of information. It is nowhere laid down in the constitution, especially the recommendations of the finance commission shall be followed by the central government. That was not mentioned, it was not laid down in the union constitution. And second thing, legal right in favor of beneficiary of states is not provided, right. Next thing, which of the following statements regarding passing a law under the state list? This is a statement which is based on certain questions. The parliament can legislate matters in state list in certain conditions when Rajya Sabha has passed a resolution with effect in 2/3 majority, right. That means, a resolution passed by Rajya Sabha with 2/3 majority. Therefore, the parliament can make laws in the subjects which are laid in the state list. Therefore, it is completely a wrong statement which is given in the first option, first statement. That means, even in the sphere, that is state list exclusively reserved for the state, parliament can legislate under certain circumstances. So, exclusively, so sorry, it is first statement is true here, because the second statement cannot legislate a subject under the state list under any circumstances is wrong statement. First statement is true, second statement is wrong. And here next question is the same question. See, the importance of the previous year questions are again showed here. I have highlighted with the yellow mark. It was asked, the same question was asked in 1987 and it is repeated again in 2016. That means the parliament has the power to make laws in the state list, okay, the subjects which are laid in the state list. Next thing, such a resolution must be supported by 2/3 majority of present and voting in the Rajya Sabha. Therefore, parliament can make laws in the state subject. Next thing, according to the Delimitation Commission of India, subject to Article 333 of the Constitution of India, the maximum strength to be allowed in the as legislative assembly, that is allowed in the 500. The maximum strength to be allowed in the legislative assembly is 500 and the minimum strength is 60. Maximum strength is 500, minimum strength is 60. Therefore, the range is 60 to 500. But there are certain exceptions with respect to Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Goa. Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Goa, because they have less population, they have very lesser population compared to other states. Therefore, they are permitted to have around 30 seats, okay. They are permitted to have around 30 seats, less than 60 seats. And also with respect to Mizoram and Nagaland, the seats can the seats allotted to them is 40 and 46. Therefore, Mizoram and Nagaland, they are exceptions, and also Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Goa, they are exceptions with respect to the range of seats that they can have in the legislative assembly. The range of seats provided as per the constitution is 60 to 500, and there are certain exceptions with respect to Arunachal Pradesh, Sikkim and Goa, and Mizoram and Nagaland, right. These are the question, because why I have chosen this question, the numbers are always tricky and they will play with you almost, because you will be under the pressure to answer these questions in the exam hall, you will commit certain mistakes. And especially I have asked certain questions with respect to Delimitation Commission. With orders of the Delimitation Commission only, the seats to the states will be allocated based on the census, okay. Here I have given you the source for previous year questions also sometimes for your reference. Next, sixth question is about provision of state legislative council in the state legislature. That is, here they are asking about states of Bihar, how many states have this legislative councils. So, you have to remember the number of states, that is Bihar and Telangana and AP, the states which are having certain legislative councils you must remember, and also the total number of members in the legislative councils of a state shall not exceed 1/3 of the total number of members in the legislative assembly. This is actually not total number of members. This is the biggest mistake that you may commit. This is not total members. This is total strength of the legislative council. Total strength is different from total members. Total members are different from total strength. Why? Because suppose the strength is exact, the total strength may be 100, but the presenting members may be 70 or 80. So, it is not the total members. It is about the total strength. Therefore, it is 1/3 means out of 100, 33. 1/3 means out of 100, 33. So, this is very simple. So, this is very tricky question. You have to be very attentive while attending this question. So, if you eliminate that second one total, what is the question here? Which are legislative council, which of the following is correct regarding the provisions of the legislative council in the state. So, total number of members, this is not total number of members, total strength of the assembly. They have asked total strength of the assembly. If there is any typo error in the given answer, do not worry at all, because I will edit it and post it in the app. I will tell the team to edit and post it in the app. This is about total strength of the assembly, and minimum strength is fixed at 40. This is also very important. Minimum strength for the legislative council is fixed at 40. So, there are plenty of questions which are asked in the regarding upper house of the state legislature, that is state legislative council. The conditions and terms, tenure and strength, maximum and minimum strength, these are the questions which were asked previously, and I have given you the sources. And seats for the scheduled tribes are reserved in both houses of the parliament, and seats for women are reserved at all levels of local government, both rural and urban. Actually here see, seats for the both members of chairpersons, I mean both members and chairperson including the chairperson for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes are allowed in the panchayats at all 3 levels, and reservation of 1/3 seats both members and chair including the members and chairperson, reservation of 1/3 seats for women in panchayat at all 3 levels. So, this is also given here, this is also given as one of the options. So, the big mistake here is first statement, scheduled tribes resided in both the houses of parliament is absolutely wrong, because Rajya Sabha does not have this feature. So, it can be eliminated easily, the first statement can be comfortably eliminated. So, these are the questions, the numbers play with you, because in the exam hall you will be under stress to answer, and you may not be recalling these numbers, and you have to revise them several times. These were the questions based on these number games, right. And regarding reservation for scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and regarding reservation for women in a parliament, and previous year questions based on these themes only we have set this question. You can see these previous year questions, the reservation for women and also SC/ST communities. And also next, consider the following statements about the Central Council of Local Government. This is about Central Council of Local Government. See, this is all 3 statements are dealing with it. It is only with respect to the urban local government, and especially its function is to review the work done by the local bodies with central financial assistance. And next thing, minister housing and urban affairs is the chairperson of this council, because there are many bodies under this Panchayat Raj system. These bodies were asked in the previous years from 1990, actually this is 1992, please do not worry about these typing errors. The act was passed in 1982, it is not moving. So, can we cancel and come here again? Okay. Which of the one? So, this is about PYQ themes and the standard reference books which I have been discussing with you. Previous year questions play a vital role in understanding the orientation of the exam. I have been telling you the importance of the questions by showing certain testimonials, how the questions were repeated several times based on the questions which were asked previously and earlier times. Here the question, the same theme is repeated several times here also in the 8th question, and again coming to this 9th question part, which is again not moving. Do not worry, just move to the 9th question. Here the question is about other committees related to the Panchayat Raj system. Here Ashok Mehta committee has suggested 2-tier system, it did not want 3-tier system. So, it is the only committee which should be eliminated here. So, the same type of questions were asked, the formation of Panchayat Raj system and the recommendations, and first time the Panchayat Raj system was established in which region and which state. Likewise, the questions were displayed here, these were the previous year questions. This is the 9th question, option is C, and come to this 10th question. Let us which one of the following statements with regard to the functioning of the panchayat is not correct? Again you have to be very careful when it comes to not correct. You have to be cautious and several times recite it, not correct, not correct, not correct. A person who has attained the age of only 25 years will be eligible to be a member of panchayat. This is absolutely wrong statement, and therefore, which is not correct is this one, B option, because it was asked in UPSC several times. Already I have shown you the previous times, and in the UPSC how the numbers will play with you. This is about 21, and also there were certain interesting questions in the UPSC, because a college student who desires to get elected in the municipal council of a particular city, the validity of his nomination is, because he must have attained, he must be in the voters list, he must have attained the age of 21, he must have completed 21 years of his age. Therefore, he is eligible to nominate for he is eligible to contest in the municipal elections. This is a case study oriented question and simple question which were asked 30 years ago. And come to this part again, 11th question, statements regarding the district planning committee. District planning committee, there were many questions which were asked regarding the bodies which are associated with the panchayat local bodies. So, various bodies formed, but this constitution of district planning committee, state election commission to conduct all panchayat elections, and establishment of state finance commission under this the 73rd Act of 1992 regarding panchayat raj institutions. So, these are the questions with respect to the body of panchayat raj, that is district planning commission. All members of the district planning commission, just remember one thing, all members of the district planning commission, we have a planning committee not elected one, but here the question is asking about only the elected ones. Just if you observe thoroughly, you can understand the demand of the question here. All members of the district planning committee, all members of the district planning committee, all members of the district planning committee are elected only by the elected members of the district panchayat. Okay? Elected by the district planning. That means, the question is focusing on the elected members of the district planning committee. All elected members of the district planning committee are elected by the elected members of district panchayat and municipalities. This is actually the question. All elected members of the district planning committee are elected by the municipalities and panchayat, simple. But not all members of the district planning committee are elected, simple. So, only 1/4 of the district planning committee are elected members. These people who are elected can also be who are elected by whom? Panchayats and municipalities, district panchayats and municipalities. Therefore, this is the statement given here. It is mandatory for every state to constitute a district planning committee. Actually, this was a question regarding planning committee. Just come down once. Here, again, district planning committee. Every state shall constitute at district level, that is district planning committee, to consolidate the plans prepared by panchayats and municipalities in the district. The act lays down that 4/5 of the 1/4 only left outside, 4/5 of the members of a district planning committee should be elected by the 4/5 of the district planning committee should be elected by the members of the district panchayat and municipalities in the district amongst themselves. Okay, not 1/4. Actually, I have remembered 1/4 left. I have used it seems. 1/4 were left, which were unelected. 4/5 were elected people. 4/5 were elected people. So, district panchayat and municipalities in the district among themselves elect people to the district planning committee. So, this is very important. And second thing, this is about district planning committee, various questions associated with district planning committee and state finance commission, and also panchayat raj institutions, other institutions. Next, PESA Act, Panchayat Extension to Scheduled Areas Act, that is 1996. Which of the following are identified as its objectives? Let us come to this. To provide self governance, fine. To recognize traditional rights, to create autonomous regions in the to create autonomous regions is not at all related to panchayat extension to scheduled areas. Decentralizing the governance and participation of the public, it is the main agenda of introducing this panchayat extension of scheduled areas and panchayat raj system. So, third statement is wrong and 1, 2, 4 are right here. So, this is about various institutions, and I have taken one theme, that is Gram Sabha, how Gram Sabha was formed and what is its objective, like that. The questions were based on panchayat raj institutions. See, these are the basic provisions given here in the PDF itself. You can read once again. See, which of the following statements are correct regarding the compulsory provisions of compulsory, just understand this one, compulsory provisions of 73rd amendment to the Constitution of India. See here, at least 1/3 of the seats reserved for SC, STs shall be reserved for women. Okay. At least 1/3 of the total number of offices as chairpersons of panchayat at each level shall be reserved for women, and the legislature of a state shall, by law regarding 73rd Constitution, here this is a previous year question and actually the provisions associated with it. The same theme is reflected here. So, the legislature of a state by law make provisions for the audit of the accounts of panchayat, and please come down once again, please come down. The district planning committee shall be constituted in every district. This is actually asked several times in the previous years, and it was asked in the earlier question also. Therefore, I have given you like this. So, if you do not consider this fourth statement, come to this first and second statement, that is reservation for women with respect to the communities SC, scheduled caste and scheduled tribes, and also the chairpersons of various offices, okay, total offices in the Panchayat Raj at each tiers, at each level, So, these two statements are correct, and regarding third and fourth statement, why they are not chosen here, please come down, why they are not chosen here, look at this one, reservation of seats, that is fine, reservation, but this is establishment of state election commission for electing elections to the Panchayat and constitution of state finance commission after every 5 years. These are very mandatory functions. Likewise, the seats reserved for it, and at the same time 21 years is the minimum voting right. This was also asked in the previous year, and voting rights of chairperson and other members Panchayat elected directly or indirectly, fine. And these are the questions and statements. And fourth indirect one is district planning committee is constituted under 74th amendment, not 73rd amendment. This district planning committee is constituted under 73rd amendment, not 74th amendment. Therefore, it can be eliminated, the fourth statement can be eliminated, right. Next, consider the following statements regarding office of the governor. Constitution of India specifies the term of 5 years for the office of the governor. Okay, governor shall immediately vacate. No, he does not need to immediately vacate his office after the expiration of his term. After the expiration of the governor's term, the governor does not need to vacate his or her office because of certain during the pleasure of the president, governor holds his office. Okay. So, please come down. Governor holds office for a term of 5 years from the date which he enters upon his office. However, the term is subject to the pleasure of the president, subject to the pleasure of the president, subject to the pleasure of the president. Therefore, this is not mandatory for the governor to resign immediately or he vacate his office immediately after the completion of his tenure of 5 years. So, a governor can hold office beyond his 5 years until the successor assumes the charge. Until his successor assumes the charge, he can continue to hold the office of the governor, right. The underlying idea is that there must be a governor in the state and there cannot be an interregnum. Okay. There must be a governor in the state, there must not be any interregnum in the state with respect to the post of the governor. And these are the statements regarding appointment and removal of the governor. Regarding appointment and removal of the governor, various previous year questions were asked. I have added previous year questions there. And which of the following statements regarding the administration of national capital of territory, national capital of union territories were also asked several times in the UPSC. See how they were how chief minister was appointed. It is also a statement. Please come down once. This is a wrong statement given here in 2013. In 2013, a wrong statement is given here. I have chosen as one statement here. I have chosen as your first statement. What is your first statement here? The chief minister is appointed by lieutenant governor. This is wrong. The chief minister is appointed by the president. The chief minister is appointed by president. Actually, this is a wrong statement which was asked in 2013 was chosen here as statement. So, 2 and 3 are the only right statements here. First statement is wrong. So, the lieutenant governor can act in a discretion in a matter which falls outside the purview of powers conferred on the legislative assembly, especially land order, land, these things can be dealt by the lieutenant governor, which is outside the purview of the legislative assembly of the Delhi, national capital territory of Delhi. The council of ministers cannot consist of more than 10% of the total number of members in the legislative assembly. That means 6 plus 1, 6 council of ministers plus 1 chief minister, not more than 10%. Please come down once. See 7 means 1 chief minister and 6 other ministers. So, fixed at 10%, fixed at 10%, fixed the total strength of the council of ministers in the legislative assembly of the national capital territory of Delhi. See, this is 6, fine. These are the questions asked there. Please come down. Next. Consider the following statements with respect to the Attorney General of India. It was also asked in the recent years in 2022. okay, one of the trickiest questions asked, and I haven't added it, and you please choose and add in the previous year question list which I have given here, but I have given you many number of questions regarding the Attorney General. Various times it was asked. The Attorney General, he is being a non-member who among the following can participate in the proceedings of the either of the houses of the parliament. This is Attorney General who had that right to attend in the either of the houses of the parliament, though he is not a member of the house. Actually, he is appointed by the president. So, actually this is completely wrong, because please come down. See here, the Attorney General of India, it is a qualified, he should, and the option is given one more time please. See, first statement is true only, he is appointed by the president, that is fine. Second statement, he must have the same qualification and are required to be judge of the High Court, this is wrong. He must have, this is he must have, he is required to be judge of the Supreme Court. So, this is a wrong statement, you can eliminate, because the question is about correct statement. Actually, I wanted to ask in the incorrect format, therefore, but I have asked correct only, no problem. Okay. In the performance of his duties, he shall have the right of audience in all courts of India, because in the app I have asked incorrect, it seems. Okay. In the performance of his duties, he shall have the right of audience in all courts of India, he shall have, because it should not, I mean, please look at this one. In the performance of his duties, he shall have the right of audience in all courts of India. At the same time, though he is not a member of the member of the either of the houses of the parliament, he can attend the proceedings, and he is entitled to remuneration as parliament may determine, no, as president may determine, because the president appointed by the president. This is okay. Only fourth statement is incorrect. 2 and 4 are incorrect. Here 1 and 4 is given typo error, a simple typo error. So, here 2 and 4 are actually incorrect, 2 and 4 are incorrect. So, he is a person who is qualified to be appointed a judge of the Supreme Court. And second thing, remuneration of the Attorney General is not fixed by the constitution and not by the parliament, but it is determined by the president, and he holds office during the pleasure of the president and qualified to be a judge of the Supreme Court. He can attend the proceedings of the either houses of the parliament, and he can also fight on behalf of the government in the courts. Please. Next, consider the following statements regarding the governor. He can recommend the imposition of constitutional emergency in a state to the president. You please come to this part regarding governors, because various questions were asked, especially the powers with respect to the governor, discretionary powers. Here he can recommend the imposition of, and it is absolutely wrong statement. He cannot recommend imposition of constitutional emergency in a state to the president. He nominates 1/6 of the members, and at the same time he decides on the question of disqualification of members in consultation with the election commission, but here statement 3, come down, come upside, come upwards. Here regarding consider the following statements. Here you please come down, please do not consider this as typo error. Okay, do not worry, these typo errors can be rectified. You please come to fourth statement. He appoints persons to the judicial service of the state in consultation of the High Court and State Public Service Commission. You please come. State Public Service Commission. This is about, I think incorrect should be given here, rather than incorrect asking incorrect. By mistake, typo error, it was asked as correct. Do not worry, we will rectify it in our PDF original document. You please come down. Next, consider the following statements. The doctrine of judicial review originated and developed in the USA. It was propounded for the first time in the famous case of Marbury versus Madison by John Marshall. This is right statement. But the judicial review is broader than that of India, the judicial review in India. So, it is not it is not narrower in the USA. Okay. So, therefore, in India on the other hand, the constitution itself confers the power of judicial review and the judicial review of the both Supreme Court as well as the High Court. Supreme Court had actually and in the scope of judicial review in USA is not narrower. Actually, this is not narrower, this is a broader one. The scope of judicial review in the USA is very broader, and it actually exists in India. So, the statement 3 is wrong, statement 1 and 2 are right, here. Come to 1, come down. Consider the following statements. Justice V. R. Krishna Iyer, P. N. Bhagwati were the pioneers of the public interest litigation, the concept of public interest litigation, and actually this is a social action litigation and class action litigation. Yes, and only person who, no, that is wrong, persons who are not actually, not only the persons who are infringed their rights, not only the person who are infringed their rights, they can also approach the court, they approach the courts whose rights are not infringed. They can go on behalf of the vulnerable or weaker sections of the society. Okay. There was a term called local standee previously when public interest litigation was introduced. Okay. But after public interest litigation, the concept of locus standi gone away. Okay. Anybody can approach the court to protect the rights of anybody, right. This is called not having the conventional notion of locus standi in the public interest litigation. The P. N. Bhagwati, Justice Krishna Iyer were the pioneers of this public interest litigation. There were questions asked several times regarding them. Next 20th question regarding transfer of judges. This is 1, 2 and 3 regarding transfer of judges. Third judges case is talking about the transfer of judges, how transfer of high court judges should take place, because there should be a collegium of 5 judges in the Supreme Court, in which the Chief Justice of India is the chairing, and also he will consult 2 judges of the high courts, and from 2 judges of the high courts, 2 chief justices, two chief justices of the high courts. Okay. A person who is transferred from Andhra Pradesh to Telangana, if example consider it as an hypothetical thing, because a person, a judge of a high court, a judge of a high court of Andhra Pradesh is transferred to Telangana. Therefore, the Supreme Court collegium of 5 judges will consult the judge of the high chief justice of the high Andhra Pradesh and also the chief justice of the Telangana. Simple. So, not only the transfer place from where he is transferred, not and but also the place where he is received. Okay. The place he is transferred and the place he is received, the both the high court, the chief justice of high courts are consulted by the collegium of the Supreme Court. This is a basic provision in the third judge's case, which is mentioned by the Supreme Court. Right. These are the provisions I have already mentioned, and I want you to mention certain previous year questions as your homework. I have not mentioned previous year questions for this 20th question, because it is a homework for you to do this reverse engineering, to search yourself the previous year questions. This is a dedicated mentorship mission YODHAN for UPSC and also the State Service Commission exams. Right. Is there any doubt? Is there any doubt? So, app name is Bhavani sir, Bhavani Shankar IAS, app name is Bhavani Shankar IAS. It is actually available in Play Store. So, it was asked incorrect. Yeah, it was asked incorrectly only. There are 1 or 2 typo errors actually. I will rectify it. Explain. Okay, and you do not need previous year questions. Mahesh Kutru. Only concept you do. You want only concept. You do not want the research work which is done behind it, because we are doing lot of research behind it to make you do reverse engineering, right. So, it is not a conceptual class actually, it is a reverse engineering process, and not only discussing the concepts, but also giving you the previous year questions several times. Okay. I do not want to change the orientation, because this is the right orientation, unnecessarily we do not deviate from this right orientation. Yes, any please please, please go upward. The highlighted text with yellow mark is being formulated with the thick color is invisible. Would you please underline instead of highlighting? Okay, no problem. I have underlined and also I have highlighted. I have done both. No problem. Sir, why can't you take classes for UPSC? Because classes are not giving you much real orientation, it seems, because I do not want to take class, rather than I want to give you the orientation. It is not only class, it is actually an orientation. So, I do not want to take class, no problem, Manu Chintu, but if you want classes we can start. Good evening, okay, fine, I will leave here, I will read. Yes, Jansi Rani, thank you so much, all the best, thank you.